Should whenever we're ready. Yeah.
You're good. Good morning. Welcome to the Lorain County Board of Commissioners meeting of April 28th, 2021. This meeting will now come to order. We will rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And our inspirational word for the day comes from Corinthians. Let love be your greatest aim.
Thank you, Commissioner Lundy. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Here.
Commissioner Moore?
Here.
Commissioner Lundy?
I'm still here.
Okay. Number one, investments.
Investments.
Move to approve. Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Moore. Any discussion from the board? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Number two, appropriations.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Moore. Any discussion from the board? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Number three, transfers.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Moore. Any discussion from the board? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Number four, advances, repayments. There were none. Number five, requisitions.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Moore. Any discussion from the board?
Yes, I see our county auditors here. We're approving a very large legal bill. I don't know if you'd like to discuss the purpose of that. I see how quickly they get up.
Okay, and we have
I figure this is why you were here today, right? Yes. I figured, so.
County Auditor Craig Snodgrass
I think it's
approaching the
item number
podium.
7, is it 4-8? I can't. Put my eyes in.
748?
Yep.
You got the wrong podium here. Maybe, do you want him over at that podium? Notice he said
That one.
wrong.
Yeah, this one, yeah.
Go that one.
Thanks. See,
Sorry,
we're just
sorry, Craig.
gonna keep moving you around, Craig.
I prefer him over
There
here.
you, that's your better
Oh,
answer.
stop.
There you go.
How about in the middle? Thank you, Commissioners. Yes, this case, it's Green Circle Growers case, greenhouses in Camden Township. Little background on it. I know I had an opportunity to speak to a few of you previously about it. We have about about the seventh, eighth largest greenhouse in the country located in Camden Township, and we've been dealing with a valuation issue for the last probably 5-6 years. And they've really, it's based upon questions of law as opposed to actually my values. And unfortunately, it's gone through the BOR, the Board of Tax Appeals, and now the Court of Appeals ruled about 3-4 weeks ago in a 2-1 decision, actually ruling that greenhouses were personal property, that business fixtures there to support the business. BTA actually called them erector sets. And again, and not trying to be critical of the business itself, but this does have very far-reaching effects as far as our valuation. For Camden Townships, it's about 16-17% of their value. And that's going to be a huge hit. We're looking at possibly a $400,000 refund from back taxes paid, and future taxes, that burden's going to get shifted to the homeowners or to the other businesses also in that district. We're looking at Fireland School District. I've met with the superintendent there and their treasurer, and we're looking at a $2.2 million refund. And then again, going forward, that burden gets shifted to the other taxpayers. And I said, it's really far-reaching. It's more than just a greenhouse now. There's other questions coming up about business fixtures. I think in the majority opinion, I think Judge Theodosio, we've mentioned about car washes and some other businesses. Yes, they're going to be able to raise this issue now with this decision. And we can think of a whole lot of other businesses that are going to have the same type of arguments. So that's where, I have real estate assessment funds, and it's part of the proper use of the funds is to defend values and to actually take on these types of cases. It's not necessarily against the business, but it's for the taxpayers. We're trying to protect the tax base that everybody just pays their fair share. So yes, it's a substantial amount of money at this point. I've been able to actually, through doing more things in-house, we've been able to accumulate the funds to be able to afford this by doing our in-house reappraisal more so and updates. That's how I can afford to do so, and I think that's justify use certainly, and this is a statewide issue. And I think that's where we also have a good opportunity to get to the Supreme Court, because it is not just a Lorraine County issue. I've also taken this to my association, the County Auditor Association. We've actually also allocated funds from there to help write an amicus brief for support of our position. So I have a lot of consensus here of people working together, because I do not believe this is really the intention of what the intent of the legislators to have the ruling this way. And that's what we're going to challenge at the court.
If I could, Commissioner, this is the Tucker Ellis.
Yes.
Craig and I obviously discussed this at some length. I think this is exactly why we go to outside counsel. Ben Sass, is the lawyer that we chose. I gave Craig a couple of names, and Craig picked Ben. Is as good as there is in the state, if not the country, at appellate work, which is a skill that we do not have here. We certainly don't have the resources here. Ben's a very good lawyer. He's doing this for us at a fairly reduced rate, because we've used this firm in the past before for specialized work. My office is working pretty closely with him. We're going to be working very closely on the amici briefs. There are a couple of them in the works right now. We're going to work with Ben to get the best memorandum of jurisdiction we can out there, because Craig is right. The consequences of this decision long-term are going to be significant, and in my opinion, it's a fight worth having, and it's a fight putting the right people in place to have it. So,
You know how much you spent already so far, or?
can't be much, because we just started. I mean,
Well, you've been fighting this since day one, haven't you?
Pardon?
You've been fighting this.
Yes, I have. And actually, at this point, we spent, I know, some money at the Court of Appeals. We had some outside counsel, again, 10, 15,000 maybe.
Okay.
And again, I spent quite a bit more when I had a power plant issue a couple of years ago. Again, that's why these funds are here, is to take on these, I don't want to say battles, but to actually stand up for what's right for everybody. And again, this is going to have far-reaching effects on all the taxpayers in this county. It will also in the state, but in this county, it's my concern. And that money, that will get shifted. And again, it's a slippery slope. You start here with a greenhouse, next day it's a car wash, next day it's storage units, on and on and on. What happens to the tax base? It shrinks. If tax base shrinks, the rates have to go up. It's always the homeowners at the end of the line. Bottom line.
golf courses is another. Sprinkler systems and things put in golf courses, there are a number of consequences that could come from this decision.
Yes.
The problem with the memorandum of jurisdiction is it's discretion with the Supreme Court. So one of the reasons, again, I think it's a good idea to get outside counsel is Ben knows the Supreme Court in a way that I do not, because he's there all the time. And that's what we're looking. So does so does the other lawyer that I gave, the
Yes.
name I gave to Craig, who is someone you know well. She knows them as well. And that's what we're looking for here. So I think if you want really good legal advice, you're going to pay for it.
Okay, so you're talking about the refunds, okay? And going on a go-ahead basis, worst-case scenario, they lose. What's the actual cost to the county, would you say? Was it just the $400,000 a year, or more than that? What were you? You're talking refunds right now? Which is
Right now, we're
big.
looking at $4 million in refunds.
How much?
$4 million.
Yeah, I know that. I'm just saying, on a go-ahead basis, what, on an annual basis, is this going to affect the general fund or
It will.
several funds?
It will affect general fund. It hits your inside millage.
Yeah,
So you're 1.6 mil, so whatever the split is between general fund and the debt service fund. And then you have all your other levies that are affected, because what happens is you have to get that money. The levies guarantee X amount of dollars.
right.
So again, values go down, rates go up. And that's the effect there. Now, do the levies eventually get their money? Yes, but at a cost. That burden gets shifted.
All right, do we know what that number is going to be with
Well,
them?
right now, they're paying around $600,000 a year in taxes.
Okay, and that gets divided by Camden
that's
Township, or
what-
the whole county?
All the different political
I guess
subdivisions.
it depends on if it's schools, if it's,
Well, you have county, you have Fireland School District, you have JVS, Camden Township, Kipton Village portion, you have Lorraine County Health District, the Joint Ambulance District. Those are all these different political subdivisions. And when I say county, that also includes your Met Park, your community college, and those other Children's Services, all these other funds that have levies on the ballot, that's all part of this, and they're all affected by it. So again, everybody really in this county, again, it might be a cup of coffee today, but it's turning into a pot of coffee every day as we continue to drop this base. That's the problem. And taxpayers they're tapped. I hear it every day. I pay too much in taxes. I agree. I don't like paying taxes like anybody else. But again, everybody just pay your fair share and we'll be a lot better off.
So at war is the definition of fair share?
Yes.
Thank you.
So-
That's it.
Yeah, I guess I just want to stress that, this is not the county targeting a business. This is the county arguing that the way that the tax law is structured, that it's not correct. And it has a devastating impact on our schools and our communities. And as you stated and you stressed properly, everybody just needs to pay their fair share. And the world will be a much better place. If folks ever saw a list of all the corporations here in Ohio who don't pay a dime of taxes, it would blow your mind. And believe me, they've got deep pockets. It's just important that everybody pay their fair share. And you've represented the county well in these other issues. I know over in Avon Lake when the schools are getting beat up there with the value issue over there, and other issues that have surfaced. And it requires a substantial investment so that you can have an impact on something that's going to have a long-term impact on taxpayers in the county. So I just want the taxpayers to know that this is basically a fight for you, and this is a fight for you because it's a question of tax fairness. It's not the government targeting a specific business.
Correct.
Okay, thank you, Auditor Snodgrass.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Petticord.
Yeah, I'm
Thank
of the
you,
opinion
Commissioners.
of, if you want to come to Lorraine County and as a corporation and provide us thousands of jobs, I'd be happy with the corporations not paying any taxes, okay? But that's a whole other discussion.
We
The jobs,
have a system that's been given to us, and we must enforce the
This
system.
is the hand that's been dealt, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So until again, powers greater than us can change that system, we have to work with what we have in front of us.
And you've been on guard. I mean, we've run into the same issue with some of the pipelines going through the county.
Yes.
The same issue. It has a much higher value. One day, the community's promised this is going to be the value, this is going to be the benefit to the community, and then all of a sudden, it totally changes course, and the value is not worth as much as they said it was going to be, and the whole community ends up, suffering as a result. So,
And that's another issue that Camden Township's also dealing with because the pipeline goes through there, as
Right.
well as another number of other communities in this county. So it's always something, again, reducing that tax base.
right.
So,
Okay,
thank you.
all right, thank you.
Thank you for the update.
Yes, thank you, Auditor Snodgrass. Thank you, Commissioners, for your comments. Are we all set?
Are we still on requisition?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, sir.
I guess I just wanted to mention that I had a conversation pertaining to requisitions with Harry Williamson, our 911 director. We are purchasing some dispatcher chairs here, and I had asked him if he would take a look at the warranty that were on the chairs that we originally purchased when we opened the facility just about 2 years ago. And since it appears like some of those chairs are not holding up, I certainly want to hold the company and the warranties responsible so that we make sure that we at least get reimbursed for that or compensated in some way. So he's looking into that.
Thank you. And then we've got the good news of the build-out of the consoles over there. We're adding 4, so we've got growth and expansion happening and good news coming out of our 911 center.
And I understand folks have been pleased with the councils and that they're working out well, so. But it's had some issues with the chairs, and I'm sorry, but when you invest in chairs, most of them generally have a 5-year warranty. We're only 2 years in.
Yeah.
So I think, as I told the director, please check on the warranties. Obviously, the furniture company gets caught in the middle,
Yeah.
they're just a distributor. But let's make sure that we hold some people's feet to the fire on their warranties.
Yeah,
We're talking about office chairs, but these are very expensive office
Right.
chairs because people are sitting in them,
Right.
you know,
The whole
12
time. They
hours
have
at
to
a
have the right
time.
chair.
And,
So,
so just
Sorry,
so you guys
Chair.
think we're not talking about chairs like.
No,
as
no,
a-
no, no.
These are very expensive chairs.
oh, no, when you're sitting there, you know, you've got to be concerned about the ergodynamic issues and all those things going on, and I'm sensitive to that. I just want to make sure when somebody sells the county chairs and there's a warranty, that it lives up to its warranty.
Yes, and I can agree with you, Commissioner Lundy. We've got a chair graveyard going on over there,
So,
so.
yeah.
Yeah, we, that's a good point to have him check that. All right, anything else, commissioners? Good, okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes,
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Number 6, travel, there were none. Number 7, bills.
move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Moore. Any discussion from the board?
Yes, there's like 15 more items on there going to Amazon. And I kind of looked it over, and a lot of that stuff we could have bought, it seems like we could have bought local.
Yep.
I asked our county administrator if he'd wish to address it in public or not. It's up to the board wishes. I'll be supporting it today, just because it's a lot of items, but it's 15 items that we should be spending more and more time shopping this stuff locally. And it could have been bought locally, but that's my,
And through you, Madam President, Commissioner Moore, I saw the same thing
Yeah.
and had concerns, and this is something that I said that I've seen over time. It's so convenient for people to do Amazon, and I realize it's a convenience thing, but, you know, I think county government has an important role of trying to invest in small businesses and spend our money with small businesses for help the local economy as best we can.
With it, we're actually going through and making the changes to buy local, small business local. And just want to, it is a culture change on there as well, getting them to go through, start looking at the local businesses. We have projects going on. I'm proud to say, you know, we're using a small family business here in the city of Elyria. We are putting more focus on it. However, some of these things are still going through as far as convenience. Some things on Amazon are also cheaper. And the big thing is getting the culture change on it. Purchasing is aware of it. You'll start seeing since the request, Amazon has been less and less, and we are doing more with local businesses. So, any questions on that?
as long as you're getting the message through to the directors and their
Yeah.
employees that, you know,
Yeah, it's, you know, some of these things, we need a fiber cable.
well, but you know, the people that are paying our taxes are paying their salaries, and they're, you know, that's how I see this, so.
Yeah.
I know it's
completely
a
understand.
hard culture change, I know.
Yeah, it's one of those things, I need a fiber cable to go through and get this project up and going. I can either run to a local store and try to find it, or basically order it on Amazon for the same price or lower price and have it here tomorrow so I can complete my project. So that's where we are working on that, but as we put more and more pressure on our employees to get things done quickly, they fall back into a habit that we're trying to change.
Okay, thanks.
Okay?
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Okay, the next item of business is number 8. Authorize various personnel actions as indicated on the summary sheet for employees within the jurisdiction of the Lorraine County Board of Commissioners. At the conclusion of today's board meeting, the commissioners may recess into an executive session to discuss personnel and new hires and various board appointments. The next item of business is number 9. To approve and waive the reading of the minutes of April 6th, 14th, and 21st, 2021. I'll move to approve that.
Second?
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Moore. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Okay, and the next item of business is number 10. Madam Clerk.
Award contracts for homeowners to receive grant assistance from CHIP Program Year 20 home repair activities for home repair assistance, which includes a contingency for any unforeseen change orders, these being the most responsive complying with specifications, and will be paid from the CHIP PY20 contract services account. One, Green Home Solutions Cleveland, in the amount of $11,550 for David and Loretta Dunlap at 17325 State Route 58 Wellington for roof replacement and related repairs. Number two, GenMet Construction, Inc., Lorraine, in the amount of $17,541 for Kayla Lange, and this should be 36465 Chestnut Ridge Road, North Ridgeville, for roof replacement and related repairs, new gutters.
I'll move to approve.
Second?
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Moore. Any discussion from the board?
Just had something I guess I wanted to bring up and see how the board wanted to handle it. As far as the number one, the Green Home Solutions, that one I understand, but I just think it's important to point out on number two that GenMet, in fact, was the highest bidder. However, when I spoke with Community Development about the matter, I was informed, Mr. Hopewell, that apparently the paperwork wasn't done properly with the bid that was submitted by the other two vendors. And I guess I just want to bring that to the board's attention, and I don't know if legal has an opinion on it, but, you know, I know it was a sealed bid and everything was sent in. I guess it just causes a little heartburn for me to see that we're going with the highest bid, which is almost about $5,800 higher than what was the lowest bid. But it's because the lowest bidder and the other bidder didn't have their paperwork properly. So I almost feel like we're kind of being forced into going with this bidder. I'm wondering if we should rebid it. And of course, if you rebid, everybody knows what the bids are, right? So that's always the complexity of the issue. I don't know if legal has any thoughts.
I think you've adequately stated the problem. It's a sealed bid, you're supposed to comply with the bid requirements, and when you don't, then your bid's not a qualifying bid. That's,
Okay. I just want to make sure we're not paying too much.
Mr. Hopewell, can you come up and, is there anything you can add or any insight you can share with us on this issue?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Basically, I think summed it up pretty well, Mr. Lundy. We do have a sealed bid process. These bids were accepted under that process. The first two, the lowest bid and the next lowest bid, actually both had mistakes in the paperwork that prevent us from being able to accept it. Obviously, you could do what you said, which is toss out the bids and actually rebid, but then, like you said, you have exposed the number for of each of the bidders at this point.
he's correct.
Yeah. When you do these grants for homeowners, you know, when you guys award these grants, are there any contingencies or liens placed in the property in case they try to sell the home within the next 6 months after being finished, like, so that we're not, you know what I mean? Because maybe a home is unsellable, and then county taxpayer funds fixes it, and then they turn around and, do we have anything like that on our, like liens, that five-year disappearing lien, or? anything
Commissioner
like-
Moore, the way the program works is that if it's considered a repair,
Yeah,
that is done as a grant. There is not a lien placed on the
Okay.
property. For the larger projects, where they get into $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, those are actually done as rehabilitations to the property, and those have mortgage liens placed. It's a 5-year lien that's forgivable, but they have to remain in the property as the owner occupant for that 5 years.
okay.
That's a
Thanks.
good point.
Thanks for explaining that, 'cause I knew there was something in
Yeah.
there. So. Yeah, it's too bad we had to go to Cleveland, but that's how the sealed bid process goes, so at least 50% stayed here. So,
If I
Anything
can
else?
follow up, I guess I'm just curious, because you've handled a lot of these before, is there any concern that maybe we are paying too much since we're ending up going with the highest bidder? Like I said, between the lowest bidder and the highest bidder, there's a difference there of about $5,800. I'm just concerned that maybe we're paying too much.
Actually, Commissioner Lundy, we do have, as part of the process, an in-house estimate, and this is actually even with the increase, by going with the third lowest bidder, it still is within the estimate. His estimate was 16,000 on this.
Okay, that's what I needed to know.
Okay,
Very good.
all right.
Okay, and thank you, Mr. Hopewell,
Thank
for all your work in helping these individuals secure the grant funding for their repairs. We appreciate all the work you do.
Well, thank you very much. And we are planning some training for contractors. I just was talking to staff before I came down. And so probably about the middle of May, we're planning to do contractor training again with the idea that to kind of help go over the process in completing the paperwork, also to maybe see if we can attract more contractors into the process.
That's great. That's great to hear. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Under Children and Families Council, number 11, approve and enter into a grant agreement with Ohio Department of Development Disabilities for fiscal year 22 early intervention program in the amount of $719,365 to provide funding for early intervention service coordination and evaluation services effective July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Moore. Any discussion from the board? I could go into my long-winded description if you want me to, but so this is a federal program that assists with the state in operating a comprehensive statewide program of early intervention services for infants and toddlers with disabilities. The program is administered by the Office of Special Education Programs, Office of Special Education and Rehabilitative Services, and the U.S. Department of Education in order to support services, coordination, evaluation, and assessment, and early intervention child find outreach. So, everybody good? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Okay, the next item of business is number 12. Madam Clerk, please read the resolution into the record.
Approve and enter into contract with NECO Center in the amount of $29,250 for the purchase and delivery of services for residential services through Ohio Multi-System Youth, effective April 22nd, 2021 through July 22nd, 2021.
Okay, move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Moore. Any discussion from the board? This one is NECO Center's residential program. It addresses the complex needs of every person it serves while focusing on the ultimate goal of reintegration into community-based living while focusing. Individuals receive residential treatment and they benefit from a wide range of services such as community recreation, education, individual therapies, group therapy, partial hospitalization, and medication management. NECO Center provides high-quality treatment in a safe environment to male individuals aged 9 to 21 with severe emotional disabilities and intellectual disabilities ranging from borderline to severe. And the multi-system youth funds have already been budgeted for 2021. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Okay. Sanitary engineer, Madam Clerk, please read the resolution into the record.
Number 13, eliminate the user fee of $3.24 per 1,000 gallons of sewage generated for customers within the sanitary sewer improvement number 104 service area as of December 31st, 2021.
Okay, move to approve.
Second.
Oh, boy. That was simultaneous, Teresa.
Flip a coin.
Go ahead.
Okay, motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Any discussion from the board? Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Solid waste management. Next item of business is number 14. Madam Clerk, please read the resolution into the record.
Approve a district market development grant in the amount of $46,856 for the Blessing House, Elyria Township for various recycled materials to be used in the construction of their new facility.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Moore. Any discussion from the board? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Okay, Workforce Development Agency. Next item of business is number 15. Madam Clerk, please read the resolution into the record.
Approve the MOU between the Commissioners, Workforce Development Board, and the various partners of Ohio Means Jobs in the amount of $286,381.68 for program year 2021 effective July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Any discussion from the board? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Okay, Children's Services. Next item of business is number 16.
Rescind the authorization of various personnel in Lorraine County Children's Services Department to utilize the agency's MasterCard for the year 2021.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Moore. Any discussion from the board? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Okay, moving on to Common Pleas, number 17. Madam Clerk, please read the resolution into the record.
Approve a subsidy probation funding grant agreement 407 non-residential felony program in the amount of $1.8 million, Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Correction, Division of Parole and Community Services Bureau of Community Sanctions for Lorraine County Adult Probation Department.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Moore. Any discussion from the board?
I believe somebody wishes to.
I had a little speech introducing Ms. Clauser. So a subsidy probation funding grant was received for our Lorraine County Adult Probation Department. Sherry Clauser and staff dedicated many hours in acquiring this $1.8 million grant that will enable the establishment and operation of full supervision for offenders under community control. The dedication by Ms. Clauser and staff illuminates the probation's department's ideal of reducing recidivism. Ms. Clauser, welcome. If you'd like to share anything with the board on the grant?
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you. Yes, I just wanted to share that this is the first of hopefully many other grants that we will be receiving through the state. There is no in-kind or cash match, so this saves the general fund from having to pay anything to help support with the probation department operating. And I wanted to thank Ms. Upton for her assistance as well.
Did an excellent job on this. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
All set?
It's a lot of money. Very helpful.
Yep. Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Okay, number 18, Sheriff. Madam Clerk, please read the resolution into the record.
Enter an amended mutual aid agreement for law enforcement in Lorraine County, Ohio, in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code 311.29, 505.43, 737.04, 737.041, 1545.131, and 132.
Okay, move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Moore. Any discussion from the board? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Okay, the next item of business is number 19.
apply for the 2022 Selective Traffic Enforcement Program STEP grant and 2022 Impaired Driving Enforcement Program IDEP grant. These are from the Ohio Department of Public Safety and will be a reimbursable grant for overtime cost of deputies working designated traffic blitz beginning October 1st, 2021 through September 30th, 2022.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Moore. Any discussion from the board? Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Okay, next item of business is number, well, okay. Number 20, Veterans.
Authorize payment of $1,000 to Andrews Crematory and Funeral Home, Lorraine, for indigent veteran Robert William Hillman, Jr., Lorraine, in accordance with the ORC 5901.25.
All right, move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Moore. Any discussion from the board? Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Okay, moving on to reports. County Administrator Tom Williams. Tom Williams, he has left. Okay, next report, Assistant County Prosecutor, Mr. Dan Petticord.
I have no report today, Commissioner Young.
Okay, so will there be a pending or current
I
litigation?
have nothing to update us on litigation, so.
Wow, crossing that off the list.
Good day.
Wow. Okay, moving on to Commissioners' reports. Commissioner Lundy, do you have anything for us today?
Of course.
Wonderful, I can't wait to hear it.
I'm teasing you. Just want to recognize that this board is proclaiming April 28th as Workers' Memorial Day in Lorain County. And I I guess because of still the COVID protocols or whatever, there's not an official event as there's been in the past. But I understand some folks will be placing a wreath at our Workers' Memorial near the courthouse at around noon today. It's just really important for all of us to realize how many people go to work and how many folks don't come home at the end of the day. We realize in law enforcement, those on the front line who put their lives on the line every day, there's possibility of that. But, you expect when somebody else goes to a job that they're actually going to come home that day. And a lot of folks don't return home. Obviously, a lot of progress has been made in the country. Thank goodness to the unions and the collective bargaining agreements to make the workplace safer so that people aren't dying on the job or coming home missing an arm or a leg. But the reality is that a lot of people die on the job. And the latest statistics coming from, this goes back to 2019, haven't seen the 2020 statistics yet, but just that year alone, 5,300 workers died on the job. On average, more than 100 a week, or about 15 deaths every day. And about 20% of the worker fatalities in private industry in that calendar year were in construction. That accounts for 1 in 5 worker deaths each year. So I think it's always important for us to recognize the dangers that a lot of workers face each and every day as they go to work. And this is a day where we have the Workers' Memorial Day here in Lorain County and across the nation. Also wanted to point out, we had our Stormwater District meeting the other day. That's always a great time of year. A lot of folks don't realize we have a lot of ditches. I don't remember what the actual miles of ditches would be, but for a long time, ditches weren't being maintained in the county. Probably in the last, I think, maybe 8 years, there's been a program in place to take care of the ditches, and a lot of progress is being made so that folks aren't having their farmland flooded. We don't have water going into people's homes. We don't have water blocking roads. So a lot of work is being done, but generally we award community grants in that area, and 10 were awarded, totaling about $388,000 to take care of that. And we always enjoy working closely with the Stormwater Advisory Committee and with the township trustees to get that all done. That's always a great partnership, and a lot of progress gets made. Finally, on the community protection team front, you may have seen in the papers, great story. Yesterday, I believe, was the lowest number of cases that we've seen in Lorain County since September of last year. Health Department, I think, was talking a number somewhere under a dozen. So it's great news. Still have a long way to go. The important thing right now is that supply is exceeding demand. There is a vaccination clinic taking place this weekend in 2 locations, Elyria High School and Lorain High School. I understand they have 2,000 slots available and lots of open appointment times. So if you have not received your vaccination yet, please do so. And we're also getting to the point where individuals will be able to select which vaccination they want to receive, which is interesting. So you can research those, decide which one you choose to receive. The Cleveland Clinic was reporting that it is seeing a shift in COVID cases to younger individuals, and they're seeing some folks being hospitalized in their 40s, folks who have not been vaccinated and did get COVID. They're also still looking into cases of some folks coming in who, and I know an individual like this, who 6 months after having been hit with COVID, still they don't have a sense of smell or taste. And I don't know about you folks, but I like to know what my food tastes like. And but sadly, that's one of the side effects that takes place. So anyhow, the clinics are open. Please get in, get scheduled. I think the more of us that can get vaccinated, the sooner we can get rid of these crazy masks that we got to wear all the time. And this Saturday, as I said, 2 clinics, one at Elyria High, one at Lorain High. Go to the Lorain County Health Department website and sign up. That completes my report.
Thank you for your report. Commissioner Lundy, Commissioner Moore, do you have anything for us
I
today?
have none today, thank you.
Okay, and I have no report as well.
Commissioner Hung, I was reminded during the commissioners' reports that we do have one piece of current litigation to discuss. in the executive
Okay.
session. I'm glad people are watching me so I don't make too many mistakes.
I will uncross that I had crossed off.
Entirely my fault.
Okay. Our next item is the clerk's report. Madam Clerk, please read the report into the record.
On Monday, May 3rd at 9:30 a.m., you guys will take a viewing of Caper Road in Indian Township on a vacation request. And Wednesday, May 5th at 9:30 will be our commissioners' meeting.
Okay, our next item is F, Board Correspondence. I move to waive the reading of the board correspondence due to a lengthy executive session we have scheduled.
Second,
Motion was made by Young, seconded by Moore. Madam,
be that lengthy.
I tried to not make it
Got
lengthy.
this guy over here.
I do try. Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Okay, and at this time, I move to adjourn into executive session to discuss personnel issues. Made by Hung, seconded by Moore. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore? Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Teresa?
I'm ready.
We have returned from executive session and our meeting is back in session. I move to approve the personnel summary sheet.
Second?
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Moore. Any discussion from the board? Oh, wait, there's no discussion. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Meeting announcements. Our next regularly scheduled board meeting is Wednesday, May 5th, 2021 at 9:30 a.m. Is there any further business, commissioners? Since there's no further business, this meeting is adjourned.
Cinco de Mayo Day.
I'm so